to you, you would not buy it. You would not buy it.
So we're just wasting our money, guys.
Yes, to some extent. Yeah. So, actually, the recipe again should say the recipe: a head of cabbage, 2 onions, sea salt, caraway seeds. So caraway seeds, we actually love caraway seeds, so we put there about 2 tablespoons of caraway seeds and about 1 to 2 tablespoons of salt.
That must be sea salt, not Himalayan.
You can add Himalayan, but someone told me that it somehow stops fermentation. I actually did that in the past and it worked, but you might be better to use sea salt than Himalayan salt. Yeah? And then you can add any spices. I actually brought a dill from our garden. Yeah? So that's what you have to add in. So, what you really want is to cut it half. Use a sharp knife. That's always a benefit. Right. And you can do that in 2 ways. I'm used to eat like stripes. So you want to chop it like that. Can you see that?
Yep.
So the thinner the stripes are, the faster the fermentation process is. You can use a food processor, but then you will make like small pieces rather than stripes. Are you with me?
Can we take that bottle out of the way in front of the
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay, thank you.
All right. So I might not do the whole thing, but you will get an idea.
So what about people who put carrots and beetroot in?
Oh, that's actually, thank you for that because I completely forgot. That's a kimchi.
Oh.
And that's here to taste. It's literally fermented vegetable. Yeah. So you can use whatever vegetables you have in a garden, and you do that in the same way like sauerkraut. Yeah. Originally I thought like a kimchi is something special. No, it's just fermented vegetable. Yeah. So the same thing: salt, onion, a bit of caraway seeds, whatever you like, and you let it ferment. Okay, so I will show you this and you will get an idea how to make kimchi as well. So I might do just one half. In Europe, with my grandparents, we always, in the autumn, we bought like, I don't know, 20 heads. And we had like a massive grater where you put a half head and we were grating the stripes. Okay? So it was easier, and we mixed that in a bathtub because it was such a huge quantity. But we also had like a ceramic pot which had like a U-shaped ring on top, so it's like a lock. There was water there, and you put a bowl over it. I mean, you can buy it, but you don't need to. Yeah. Some people would say, oh, I want to start a fermenting cabbage, sauerkraut, so I have to buy all the equipment. You don't need to. I use these 2-liter jars or something like that, and it works brilliantly as well. Okay, so let's chop a bit. I guess that chopping bit is taking most of the time. I mean, that might be enough to just show. Then I will use onion. Did you know that cabbage is about 80% of water? And it's plenty of vitamins and minerals, and it's actually great for winter time because it's a constant supply of vitamin C. Actually, did you know that this vitamin C is used to treat all sorts of diseases. You literally overdosing your body with vitamin C, and it works marvelously. I don't know why more people don't using that. Okay, so here is a bit which is not right, so you can take it off. Yes, actually now, as we established our gardens, we have got so much produce in the first half a year, we cannot eat it. So we're already sharing that with our neighbors. Okay? And that's the first half of the year. So chopping the onion. As I said, I cannot do two things at the same time. Imagine me driving and talking. Yeah, right. And we also chop there a bit of dill. That actually goes very, very well with sauerkraut. Right. Put this there.
So do you do like no dig gardening or?
Actually, all our gardens are raised or self-watering gardens. So you don't need to water them every day. Some garden beds are non-dig, some are like a dig.
Yeah.
But I would say that the trick with gardening, specifically in southeast Queensland, is to have it self-watering. And again, how we do that, it will be all on the website. We built the herbs pile, but it's self-watering. So there's like 3 layers of water reservoirs, and it's all shared step by step and pictures, so you can build it at home. So imagine that it will be all cabbage. I just want to shortcut. So you use some kind of bowl to mix it. At home you might use something like kitchen sink. You clean it and then you mix it there, or like a larger bucket. So I will put everything in. Then we'll add there salt. I never use the spoons or something like that, so know about it, my salt. Caraway seeds we love, so we put there always more. Caraway seeds are also great when you baking or cooking potatoes. I will tell you the story once actually. Okay, so now I put everything in and I want to work it. And now you can see it's really dry. But when I will be kind of working with that, and I want to speed up the process, so I will kind of will be talking and working with that, you will see how it actually will start to get more juicy. Yeah? So with potatoes and caraway seeds, couple of tips. If you're baking or cooking potatoes, most people would put them in the water and boil them, yeah? And then pour water out and eat potatoes. But with doing that, you're losing potassium, because that's actually that goes into water and you spill it out or put it into sink. So either if you boil them in water, use that water to make a soup, so you get a potassium. Or what we usually do, we have just a bit of water in a pot at the bottom and literally steam them. Yeah? And the caraway seed actually always put with potatoes, because caraway seed goes very, very well with potatoes. It somehow neutralizes something which is in potatoes. Yeah? Don't ask me what, but that's what we want.
Yeast.
Sorry?
There's a lot of yeast in white potatoes.
Yeah, very, very nutritious. I mean, the ones you grow at home. Now, we went to excursion to one farmer who is growing potatoes. And he's growing really very nice, big potatoes. And I asked him a really simple question, like, do you eat these potatoes? And he said, no way, I would not touch them. I'm growing my own organically on the paddock over there.
Oh.
Yes? Okay, talking of that.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
Do you put the caraway seeds in when you're boiling the potatoes, like cook them in with
Yes,
the water?
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, in general, another advice would be, do you know, Google the dirty dozen. Have you heard of dirty dozen? It's a dozen fruit and vegetables we should avoid if they are not organic. So one of them are, for example, strawberries. And you would not believe how many chemicals are used to grow strawberries. They are fumigated with methyl bromide, and that has been used in a war to kill people. Has been banned worldwide, and 75% of Australian strawberries are still fumigated with that gas. I'm not even talking about what they actually soak them in, so they don't go molded, and so on and so on. Anyway, so that's it. Strawberries and any berries in general. Then broccoli, then stone fruit, grapefruit. We should really avoid unless they are organic. However, there is a list of dozen which is kind of alright to eat if it's grown conventionally, and one of them is avocado. Yeah. And do you know why avocado? Because it is a thick skin. Yeah. So the sprays don't really get there. Okay. So jar. I mean, you can go larger scale. I just want to show you how it will work and what you have to do at home. So you fill it up. Okay. Oh, actually, I will show you something. Look at this. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's what you really want. So, putting that in a jar and squeezing it down, you will get all the juice at the top. So the trick with sauerkraut is that all the sauerkraut or the cabbage should be submerged in the liquid. If it's sticking out, there is a high chance that it might go off. So it's like a preserve in that liquid. Yeah? So when you do this, can you see how much juice is there? Yeah, and that's what you want to achieve. Then you clean the jar. I mean, you know what I mean? And you put a lid on. But with putting the lid on, you don't want to tie it because it would explode. So I would put a lid on like that. So it's loose. So the pressure can be released, but nothing gets in. Are you with me? Okay, a few practical tips. I made a bit of mess, but a few practical tips. If you do this, always leave it at least like a couple of centimeters from the top, because when it starts to ferment, it increases the volume and it might overflow. So the other practical tip is to put it in a cupboard, in a saucer. So when it overflows, it doesn't spill in a cupboard, but it's contained. And how long you should leave it?
You're putting it in the cupboard to keep it dark.
Yes, because if it's in the daylight, it will start to change the color to brown. Yeah. And I would say leave it there at least like 1 week, if not 2 weeks, but even longer. I mean, I would leave it there a couple of months before I would eat it, because, you know.
A bit like pickles.
Yeah. Yeah. The older it gets, the better it gets.
Yeah. So can you leave it in the fridge for a long time?
Okay.
Does it still keep fermenting in the fridge?
So
or not?
it will ferment, and then it will stop fermenting when it's finished in a cupboard. And that's what you want to eat when it's finished. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's fermented.
And then, so I would say at least like a week or 2 weeks, but even better, month or 2 months.
Out of the fridge?
Yeah. It will not go off because it's like a self-preserve.
Yeah. You take 2 months in the cupboard.
Yeah. And then, usually, you know, once you open it and start to dig and taste, that's when I would put it in a fridge.
Yeah.
Because that's when it might go off. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell you a story. Once I made a sauerkraut and I forgot about it.
Oh.
And it was really hot summer. And after I think 3 months, after summer, I thought, oh, there is a sauerkraut there. So I approached that really, really slowly, opened it up, and it was perfect. Because it's self-preserved. Yeah? How can you find out it's off? Usually, there will be like a mold on top. Once there is a mold, throw it out. But out of the, I don't know how many batches we made, 20, maybe one jar didn't actually had a mold. So I had to throw one jar out of maybe 50. Okay? So that's how it is, simple. Make sense? Yes?
Does your sauerkraut taste crunchy or is it soft?
Okay.
Will be soft.
Try it. We'll try it. Yeah.
You try. It tastes crunchy when it's young. So if you actually eat it after 1 week, it will be still crunchy because it's not fully fermented. But once it's fermented, it will be more soft. Make sense? Yes. Right. Now, you can say like, why shall I go through all this process if I can buy it in a shop?
It's cheap.
It's cheap?
It's your own.
I mean, cheap, this or in a
Yes,
shop.
yes.
Okay, so cheaper,
And you
tastes
don't-
better,
It's your own.
it's your own. So you're actually putting your energy into it
Yeah.
when you're working with that. But there is one very, very important thing.
It's alive still.
It's a lot.
No chemicals, but imagine if they do this and then it will go on a shop shelf. It would actually eventually go off. So they have to pasteurize it. And this pasteurization, guess what?
You kill it.
Yes! So, that's why you want to make your own. The other thing, if you want to speed up the process, you can take a bit of sauerkraut from previous batch and mix that in. And that will kickstart the process. Yeah? I usually don't do that, but if you want, you can.
So Roman, you don't use a little weight to keep those little sauerkrauts down? Like, don't they float to the surface?
Eventually it will, but if you don't open it up, it will not go off. Sometimes some people would put like a stone to push it down.
Oh, yeah.
But if you do that, boil the stone, sterilize it first.
so you got to
Yeah.
push it up.
Or they have like a special thing which actually will push it down. I never do that. I mean, I make sure that it's actually compressed and there is plenty of juice there. If you don't get enough juice, you can make a brine. So boil water with a bit of sugar, and that's when it cools down, you can top it up.
Salt, you mean.
Sugar, salt.
Sorry, salt. Yeah.
So
Funny
is
amount of
sauerkraut always made with salt or can it be made with sugar as well?
No.
Salt. I would go salt because salt is also preserving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sugar get your mouth.
I mean sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you mouldy, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely salt. And so the difference between kimchi and sauerkraut, the same process, different ingredients. I mean, cabbage can be used in both, but here I used pumpkin, butternut, carrot, beetroot, beans, kale, what else? Everything what I could find in the garden. Chop it with carrots or beetroot. I would grate it because when chopping it will be bigger pieces, so it's better to grate it. And do the same thing. And that's your kimchi.
And it's the same thing with the sauce.
I mean, not the real kimchi because
chili.
yeah, you can add a chili. Actually, I put there 5 of our chilies. And when I made it, it was like, whoa, who is going to eat that? You know, it was really hot. But then, guess what? It disappeared. So it has got a bit of kick. I mean, it's not really spicy, but you can feel that there is chili there, but it's not hot. Okay?
I'm new to sauerkraut, like my background with food is Asian, obviously, but what do you eat sauerkraut with? Like,
Okay.
how do you-
Anything.
It's like a side dish.
Oh, okay.
It's like a side dish. One really good recipe. It's a beautiful salad, sauerkraut, grated apple, sunflower seeds, a bit of olive oil and honey. And it's absolutely divine. Though, you know, if I would eat sauerkraut and apple, I would be flying all over the place. So you have to watch out your digestive system. Eh? So, but I mean, I would be really farting. Yeah? There will be a lot of winds. So it will be.
So what's that recipe? Is that on the internet?
No, but again, the recipe is sauerkraut, grated apple, sunflower seeds, olive oil, and honey. And you can add there a bit of lemon juice. Yeah. So we eat sauerkraut as a side dish, and I would suggest have every day something fermented, some fermented food, because that actually keeps our digestive system in a good state. Yeah? And especially when you eat, when you have antibiotics, it will wipe out all the bacteria in your gut. So you have to replenish it with the good stuff. Yeah.
You say the last thing you said, sauerkraut, apple, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You're saying this.
That's sauerkraut when it's done. Yeah.
Okay. So it just makes it more palatable.
Yeah.
Because I find it really hard to eat.
Actually,
I found a lady who makes it, and now I can eat it. But anything I ever bought, I couldn't eat. But now I've got a lady who makes it for me. It's beautiful.
yeah, here we go.
I couldn't believe it. And I always think, how could people eat that? It's disgusting. But my body's sensitive, so I probably picked up on all the other rubbish.
Yeah. So this is actually the way how we ferment food. It's not a rocket science. It's usually very quick, simple. It's absolutely delicious and healthy to eat. And we are what we eat. Remember that. Yeah. So I would park it here, and now tasting. Yeah. So what I would suggest, we have here 2 forks. So I would suggest, for sauerkraut, just